Hello and welcome, I'm Fahd Husain. Tonight the world is holding its breath. There is a very thin, fragile line between a cold peace and a hot global catastrophe. Some hours ago, the Middle East witnessed a stunning escalation that many feared was inevitable. Iran launched a direct drone and missile strike against the UAE. The targets were critical infrastructure, including the Fujairah energy hub. And for the first time since the April 8 ceasefire, the relative calm of the region has been disrupted. But here is the detail that has the world's capitals in a frenzy. The US has not immediately jumped into the fray. Despite the smoke over Fujairah and the exchange of fire in the strait, we are seeing a rare moment of American hesitation. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth made a point to state just shortly that the ceasefire is not over and that the US is not looking for a fight, even as Washington continues its Project Freedom operations to keep the shipping lanes open. It is a razor's edge where one wrong move transforms strategic intimidation into an all-out resumption of war. The condemnation has been swift and global. But look closely at the response from Riyadh. Saudi Arabia has voiced its deep concern and condemned the strikes, yet, read between the lines, Riyadh is explicitly throwing its weight behind the diplomatic process led by Pakistan. While US and Iran trade threats, it is Pakistan that has emerged as the indispensable bridge. In the last month alone, Pakistan has successfully brokered two separate ceasefires that pulled the world back from what could have been a major catastrophe. This morning, Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif underscored this role, taking to X to strongly condemn the attack on civilian infrastructure in the UAE and express solidarity with President Mohammed bin Zayed. But crucially, the Prime Minister added, Pakistan stands firmly with our Emirati brothers and sisters as well as with the government of the UAE at this difficult time. It is absolutely essential that the ceasefire be upheld and respected to allow necessary diplomatic space for dialogue leading to enduring peace and stability in the region. The line between posturing and conflict is now so thin, it's microscopic. When Iran says they've not even started in the Hormuz standoff and the UAE orders its schools back to remote learning, we aren't just talking about geopolitics. We are talking about the safety of global energy and the stability of your bank account. The question tonight is simple. Can Pakistan, leveraging its unique position, rescue the world from a war that no one can truly afford to win? The world is waiting for a signal. The sound of more drones over the Gulf, or the quiet, measured tone of a third Pakistan brokered peace. We are on the edge. Let's see which way we fall. Now, I want to go slightly deeper into this story. As I was mentioning that the Iran-USA war has reached a very delicate stage, and the ceasefire is hanging by a thread. It also makes Pakistan's position very difficult as the frontline mediator. Where do we go from here? And what does it mean for Pakistan's diplomacy? What do we need to do? These are very difficult but very important questions that I want to ask today. And to help answer these questions, I'm joined by two guests who are very well qualified on the basis of their experience to try and answer these questions. Dr. General Raza Muhammad is my first guest. He's a practitioner with a diverse experience. He spent 36 years in the military. He has a doctorate in international relations, has also served as ambassador, Pakistan's ambassador, and also as president of the Islamabad Policy Research Institute, IPRI. So he comes with very solid credentials, both military and diplomatic, to speak on today's topic. Very grateful that he is joining us today. And also Air Vice Marshal Ijaz Mahmood Malik, who also has a very distinguished career, spent 33 years in the Pakistan Air Force, and has specialized in air defense systems of Pakistan, also holds an MSc degree and has also participated in an anti-terrorist course at Interpol. So again, a very varied experience serving the Pakistani military. Now, very grateful to you also, Air Vice Marshal
Thank you.
Ijaz, for joining today. General Raza, if I were to start with you, the way that I'm framing today's discussion is this, that this ceasefire is hanging by a thread. And the last 24 hours have been very difficult. And missiles have been fired, boats have been fired upon, claims, counterclaims. And this is the third time that we are almost on the brink of fresh hostilities. The first two times, it was Pakistan which got the ceasefire to materialize by negotiating or mediating between the two sides. At this stage, do you think that the picture is a little bit more clear in terms of who is more responsible amongst the two? In fact, let me add Israel also. Who is now playing the difficult game and once again pushing this whole situation towards another round of a war or conflict?
Thank you so much, Fahd sir, for taking me and inviting me into your program, and gratitude with salam for you and for your viewers and also the Air Marshal. Actually, I'll begin from this thing that this ceasefire is tenuous, no doubt. And there are three basic main characters who are involved, or the warring factions. One is Israel, United States of America, and Iran, but also the Gulf states. Now, coming over to who is responsible, who is not responsible, I think we need to look for the spoilers. The ceasefire Pakistan, which was brokered by Pakistan, actually precluded the possibility of a very, very devastating war. And if you remember, President Trump had said that a civilization will be obliterated from the face of the earth. Second time also, what we need to do and where to go forward. I think both the countries, especially America and Iran, need to look into the possibility of spoilers within the ranks or in the region who want to spoil this ongoing process and attainment of a durable peace here. Coming over to Iran, as you were indicating that Iran has attacked UAE, I actually failed to understand the logic. In my opinion, it shouldn't have happened. I don't know whether it was sanctioned from the highest place or somewhere else, or was it a third party, or was it a false flag? I am not clear yet. But in case if it has been done by Iran, I think they need to be more responsible. Similarly, firing on the ships, or firing by America on the ships, or targeting of another South Korean ship by whom one doesn't know, maybe it is a false flag operation too, and a case to spoil the whole situation. What does Pakistan need to do and how to go forward? I think Pakistan is playing a very, very important role. And the best thing is that Pakistan is trying to stay kind of aloof from all this, what is happening, and being perpetrated by, I would say again the word spoilers, or not for the peace. But Pakistan is playing very cool. Pakistan is keeping everything under the lid and not sharing anything, and very patiently Pakistan is moving forward. The way forward is again the same, what Pakistan is doing. Pakistan need to be very patient. Pakistan need to be unbiased and keep moving forward. I am optimistic, my last remarks are, I am optimistic that these small little irritants are there, but ultimately no side has reacted violently. Neither UAE has reacted violently, nor America has acted violently. And similarly, the Iranian response is also not that violent. So there appears to be kind of environment which can move the things forward. Yes, please, sorry.
Air Vice Marshal Ijaz, now, just taking a cue from what General Raza was saying, the good news is that, yes, there have been provocations, but actual conflict hasn't broken out. Even though, I was reading a couple of editorials on international media, for example, Wall Street Journal, which we do know is very right-wing. Their editorial policy is very right-wing, and they were saying that Trump should go ahead. He is now justified to use military force again because of what happened yesterday. And Pakistan is in a difficult situation, as General Raza was saying. And he mentioned UAE. We know that Iran lobbed some missiles at UAE. Some damage was done. And Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has actually posted a tweet in which he says Pakistan strongly condemns the missile and drone attack on civilian infrastructure in the UAE. And then he expressed full solidarity with His Highness Mohammed bin Zayed and said Pakistan stands firmly with our Emirati brothers and sisters as well as the government of UAE. Of course, he didn't name who did the attack. So this is, you know, Ijaz Sahab, for me as a Pakistani, it does get a bit frustrating that we are in the middle of this and the main people involved are behaving so irresponsibly. We are trying to balance UAE's sensitivities and Iran's sensitivities and America's sensitivities. I mean, I think it's becoming unfair for us. How do we manage this very difficult situation?
Thank you very much, Fahd Saab. First of all, I really feel privileged being on your show. And your question is valid. Pakistan, this has been a dilemma and a very paradoxical situation for Pakistan, that Pakistan has, a very difficult task of maintaining her neutral position. Because in this war, other than Israel, all the directly involved parties are the effectors of this conflict. Pakistan enjoys a very good or reasonably good with others relationship as far as our diplomatic ties, economic interests, and strategic partnerships are concerned. So, once your two friends are fighting, or they are likely to get embroiled in a kinetic application, it's very difficult. Like you mentioned, Pakistan's Prime Minister's response on the attack over UAE. So it reflects that paradoxical situation where Pakistan has to, condemn any such attack, because Pakistan does not want to spoil her relations with any of these countries. But having said that, the situation is so volatile that the efforts so far done by Pakistan, obviously they are praiseworthy, but even at this stage of negotiation, there are no guarantees to harness the only spoiler of this conflict. Israel is one country for which even America is not in a position to give any guarantees, even today, or given the best possible scenario. If, as just like General Saab mentioned, I am also very optimistic that sooner or later we will reach a solution or kind of roadmap or agreement for this resolution of this conflict. But even after that is reached between America and Iran through very concerted effort by Pakistan, it will not be a permanent solution per se.
Of course.
Because the sword, which a very thin thread that people are saying is hanging in the form of ambitions of Israel, that will continue to haunt all stakeholders.
True.
Even after that.
But
we can
at
only
this stage,
pray.
yes.
Yeah, we can only pray that the duration of this peace is little longer. I think if it stretches over a year plus time frame from now, that will be the time that there will be last year of President Trump in the White House.
But
so
I
many
think
other things will be changing. But right now it's very critical.
And because it is critical, one of the reasons that you also mentioned, is the role of spoilers, and General Raza, you also mentioned spoilers. So let me just come to that actually, because the obvious spoiler, as both of you have referred to, is Israel. But here's the strange thing, which to me is very worrisome, General Raza. Israel may be the main spoiler, but the parties themselves and others are also acting as mini spoilers. For example, when Iran launches missiles on UAE, it is acting as a spoiler. When President Trump fires off a very aggressive and provocative post on his Truth Social, he's acting as a spoiler. When, for example, the UAE gives a very strong response to Iran in terms of his statement, and then also utilizes the Israeli Iron Dome, it is acting as a spoiler. So everybody seems to be acting like spoilers, and we have to be in the middle to try and manage all of them. It's almost mission impossible for us.
Yes, very rightly said. I agree with you, whatever your the comments are, Mr. Fahad. I just want to add few things. Number one, when it comes to the spoilers, whether it is Israel, whether it is if at all it is Iran or United States of America and the President Trump, I think there is a question of notion of victory also. Who is the victor? Actually, someone has to declare victory and say that, okay, I am the victor and here I go. I'm committing to the ceasefire and ending the war, and I've achieved the objectives and so on and so forth. So both the sides are competing for this thing, that who is the victor. Second thing is Israel, as you very rightly mentioned, and I also spoke about that. Today, even Lebanon is experiencing the gruesome attacks from Israel. I think that is also one of the instigating factors. So, instigation is one which is at the play, number one. Number two, when we talk of the instigation is also that which you said, that Israel says that we stand by the UAE and Iron Dome will be there and so on and so forth. So Iran may consider that, okay, UAE and Israel are one and they are my enemy. So instigations, egos, everything is in play. But what I think is important, number one, the Trump has realized that it has to end. Why? Number one, that there is no end seen as a clear victory for President Trump. Number two, the oil situation or the energy situation because of the Strait of Hormuz blockade is affecting the whole world, and President Trump has pressure of whole the world, including its own country. On the other hand, if we see the business and the money and the numbers, ultimately America is going to make lots of money by selling arms, by selling oil, by selling gas, not only to the Europe, which it continues to do so after the Ukraine war, because today America is the largest supplier of LNG to Europe, and also is exporting about 4 million barrels a day to them. A last point which I want to indicate is that both these sides have realized America, because of the situation at home, internal pressure, external pressure, pressure from the UAE, pressure from the GCC, pressure from the EU, and also Iran. Iran is also under pressure because of a few factors. Number one factor is that it is under sanctions, and if the blockade continues, the only revenue earning or the money earning thing is the export of oil. That has been badly affected, and it will affect ultimately in longer term all the capabilities, whether it's technology, whether it's military, whether it is the social or economic factors or socio-economic factors. So I think both the sides have decided, in my view, not announced so, but I think within heart of what they know, that they have to end this war. Now, how to end this war, that is the big issue. Who is going to be declared as victor, and everyone is trying to actually strengthen its position at the bargaining table. But by end of the day, I think, number one, the Strait of Hormuz will be the first to open. It will gradually open. Some introduction, some hiccups may continue, but ultimately it will open. The second thing is that ceasefire, I am sure that it will continue. And third thing is that other things like nuclear, like embargo, sanctions, they would be also perhaps
Well,
lifted on nuclear.
I'd also like to be very hopeful. You are sounding hopeful, and I hope for all our sakes, General Saab, that you are right. But Vice Marshal Ijaz, if things don't go as smoothly as we all hope, if the ceasefire breaks down, if there is a fresh round of hostilities, then what does that do to our diplomacy? I know my own assessment is that even if the war breaks out, in fact, then the need for Pakistan's mediation will become even more important, because General Saab is absolutely right. Nobody actually wants this war, but nobody knows how to get out of it. That's the problem, and that's where Pakistan comes in. We are trying to show them a way out of this war, but it's a very difficult task in front of us. So in case things go south, as they say, what do you think Pakistan should do then?
Yeah, actually, Pakistan has been attached to this entire construct of diplomacy in a manner, and under such, I would say, some compulsions. Few compulsions for our own interest, few compulsions for our own ever evolving and ever growing image as a stabilizer in this region. And lastly, because the partners of or the belligerents in this conflict, they desired us to be the facilitator for the peace talk. So, unlike any traditional conflict and their the role of a mediator who had an option to opt out in case both the belligerents are not listening or not agreeing or adhering to the preset condition, which in this case obviously is not to break this temporary ceasefire. So Pakistan can't opt out because Pakistan has relations with America. America needs Pakistan to remain as a mediator. So under the threat of war, Pakistan has to remain vigilant to either, if given the best case scenario, even on the this peaceful note, to raise the level to an extent that we reach a solution, or in case of a shooting war starts, then again the role of mediation or action and diplomacy
It will become more
lower
important.
the temperature. That will be more important and relevant. So we have to do that. And I fully agree with the 3 points. And I mean, at least we can wish and pray that the 3 points that General Saab concluded towards end of his statement and comments. And regarding a notion of victory, I think Americans understand that this is their dilemma. Iran doesn't have to prove any notion of victory. The world knows. The mere fact that Iran has survived and it's sitting, on the same table with America for negotiation, it amply reflects and manifests that Iran is not a loser in this war.
Well,
and America, to claim her victory, America is in a dilemma. Just very recently in a congressional appearance, the Hegseth was asked that what were your objectives for war? And the objective that he mentioned, obviously, the next question was, could you achieve that? And now
they haven't, yes.
They haven't.
Absolutely.
And now they have changed from tangible objectives of denuclearization and regime change.
That reflects
that
reflects the confusion.
Intangible.
Absolutely.
Intangible. But you know what he said, quote unquote, that he said that now we have to break that will of American nation and American regime,
which is of course
nuclear.
Just goes on to show the policy confusion that is prevalent there.
Exactly.
But I think the important thing for us clearly is that at the end of the day, Pakistan is able to achieve what it has set out to do. It's a very noble task, and hopefully, despite the spoilers that both of you have mentioned, despite them, we are able to overcome these challenges and find a peaceful exit for both the players. I'm very grateful to both of you, distinguished guests, for joining me today to discuss this.
Thank you very much.